Hey, Happy New Year, guys. Tony here, CCxRC, and today I've got something exciting to announce for 2019. We finally got a drift car on the channel. I picked this up when I was in Newport News at the Hobbytown there, and they've got an awesome drift course, track, whatever you want to call it, at their place that you can pay to get into. I think they have monthly rates or day rates, but they also do racing, and it looks super cool. And so I've been looking at them for over a year, but I really wanted something ready to run. I didn't necessarily want this body in the ready to run, but it's what they had, and so I like to support my local shops. And I had a little bit of extra money coming for my birthday and for the month of December, so I decided to drop it on this ready-to-run MST RMX 2.0. And so I can't wait to show you guys what we do as we open the box. There's not a whole lot of videos on these, surprisingly. I was trying to find some to give myself a little bit more know-how about them. But there's just not a lot. So it's a pretty slick car, and we'll show you guys what you get right after the break. All right, so here's a quick look at the outside of the box before we go ahead and get inside of this MST RMX 2.0 ready-to-run vehicle. You can see the price here listed. That's what I picked it up for at Hobbytown. It says it has a Dean's plug. We'll see that in a little bit. Lots of things that they show you here, what comes with the truck, the optional upgrade parts that you can get. Here is the body that this came with. It's a Honda NSX in red. They've got it like sticker decal and all that. But here's some numbers if you want to be able to change that body. 257 millimeter wheelbase. Probably says it here in English. Yep. And then the width is 190 millimeters. This is a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive car. So we'll go ahead and get in here and take a look at all the cool things that it comes with. You will need your own battery, and you will need a set of batteries for your transmitter, as we'll see here as we get inside the box. Now, what's interesting about this is, first thing we're going to see is the sticker package. But you can see that all the decals are already off it. Now, I did not do this. It is a Tamiya body, and it looks like they're going to have gone ahead and done all of the work with this body. It's a NSX by Tamiya, 1/10 scale, and so it tells you where the body holes and things like that go in here. We're not really going to need this, but let's go ahead and pull out the body and everything inside of the box for you. Starting with the body, we'll unveil it. There it is. It's a thin Lexan body. They have not pre-drilled out the holes. I'm guessing that's so you can run magnets if you choose to, instead of cutting holes in the body. I guess they're giving us the option of what we want to choose to do with it. But it's been painted. They've backed it all in like a silver here. And so it looks really good. Stickers have been applied. You can see up in here, as well as all along the front side. They did a pretty good job doing that for us. Here is the little mirrors that go on. So we'll have to do that ourselves. The little body posts and things like that that come with it as well. The controller, which is stuck in there with some tape. We'll cut this out of here for you guys. And then we'll get to what is inside of here. So let me just do some of that Hollywood magic, and we'll get to the car unboxed. All right, so here is everything that you get inside of the box, as well as this little manual here that just kind of shows you all the different upgrade parts you can get for it, and also has some of the just features listed on this that we'll be kind of talking and going over here as we look at the car. One other thing I want to point out before we move on is it says right here in this little yellow decal that this car was practice driven, tested by the factory, so it's normal to see a little bit of wear and tear on your tires. So they build these and then they do a quick test to make sure they are set up properly for us. So we should hopefully have a pretty good driving setup out of the box. So here's hoping. One thing to note is that these do have a gyro in them. So let's take the body off. I just want to put that in that shot but we're really not going to focus on that. We're going to be really looking at the car and the controller and those things. So you have some stickers here for the RMX 2.0S MST, nice sticker packet. Got some paperwork here on our motor, on our ESC setup here. So it's like the instruction manual is broken down into several different little booklets here. So this goes over the ESC tuning, and then this is like a big exploded manual here of the car that's going to detail out how to work on it. As you can see, these are the parts explosions and everything. Part numbers and all that good stuff. The only manual I'm not seeing is for the controller, but it looks like it has directions on here. Turn on the transmitter, turn on the ESC, stand the car around 3 seconds till the front wheels turn. So yeah, pretty basic looking. We've got our throttle reverse, steering reverse here at the top. Just kind of click them in. And then we've got trim and EPA. So we've got our left and right trim, and then it looks like our throttle trim for forward reverse, and then a channel 3 button. So if you have lights or whatever. And then it looks like there's a dual rate switch up here on the top as well. So hopefully that's for setting up some steering dual rates. That's something we'll have to test out when we get it out on the road and see how all of that works. Nice handy little toolkit here. A few extra parts. But yeah, it looks like there's shorter body posts in here. Another steering horn, servo horn, and a few other little pieces in here. So this car is interesting. Let's zoom in here. This is what we want to look at. We were talking about it having the gyro. So it does have a gyro, and it's sitting right up on top here. And this is supposed to help us turn better as we're doing all the sliding and all that. It's supposed to, I don't know exactly how it works, guys. So this is my first drift car. But it is supposed to make steering a little bit easier when you're working with these cars. And there are 3 different modes I was reading in here. So this actually has settings on it that you can adjust on this. It's got L drive, S drive, and H drive. And you can see the curves that they've got on these for the setup. And that basically the gyro is going to assist our vehicle and help it as it's sliding and slipping around the track. So yeah, so let's take a quick look around at all the plastic components, the metal components, all the different things that make up this car. Again, I'm not into the drift scene. This is my first one. I've been looking at them for a while, and these are one that I found to be as a ready to run, pretty good out of the box. People like this platform and this chassis. There's also Kyosho makes some that I was looking at as well. But this is what I ended up going with because they had it in store, and so it happened to be there while I was there and I wanted it, so I went ahead and picked it up. Early birthday present for myself. However, I probably won't even get to drive it until after my birthday because of rain and stuff coming up. So we'll see about that when we'll get to run this. But the neat thing about this is that it's got 2 different motor setups. You can set it up low, or you can actually flip it and you can ride the motor up vertically, so it can be a high riding motor. And I think they've got a photo of it actually in one of these manuals here. Yeah, here. So there's the low set up, and here it is running up high above. And so that's if you want to change your center of gravity. So I'm going to keep it low for now. The battery tray is different than most of my cars in that, I'll be sliding the battery underneath. So these pop out and off. Allow you to slide the battery in from the side and clamp it down like so. We'll have to supply our own battery. This I should have mentioned while I was here. Again, it is rear wheel drive, but it's also a brushless motor that it comes with. So it's a 3652 and it's 2500 kV brushless. This is sensorless. I don't see a sensor to there, so it's a sensorless motor. So I'm going to keep it low for now. The battery tray is different than most of my cars in that, I'll be sliding the battery underneath. So these pop out and off. allow you to slide the battery in from the side and clamp it down like so. We'll have to supply our own battery. This I should have mentioned while I was here. Again, it is rear wheel drive, but it's also a brushless motor that it comes with. So it's a 3652 and it's 2500 kV brushless. This is sensorless. I don't see a sensor to there, so it's a sensorless motor. You can see the detail that they've done in here with the disc brakes. It looks real nice. And again, these are not running, these do not have foam in them. These are just plastic tires that slip onto the rim and make it so you can change them. So if you're running on smoother, really nice surface, your tires will hold up longer than if you're running them on cement. So these stock ones, they said, aren't really that great, and so I'll probably use these for running around out in the cul-de-sac and just kind of drift it on the blacktop. So that'll be a lot of fun. Down here, we'll see we've got our receiver. Everything's coiled up here. I don't know what the extra wire is for. That's popping out right there. It's got the ESC in here. It's the MST XBL50. I'm going to guess that's for a 50 amp, but I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. I've not looked up any of the stats on here, guys. I'm just kind of going through this as I'm pulling it out of the box. It has the MST RX 251 steering servo. Now, I did read that there's two different setups that you can do for this. You can run it like they've got it forward facing, or you can actually flip it to the side. There's actually even up in the front here, you can adjust the Ackerman angles by adjusting the flipping this. Basically, there's this brace here that goes across, and you can flip that, and that would adjust the angle that these turn. So that's useful somehow for drifting, but the difference in the percentage between the turn of the tires, so you can adjust that. The shocks are plastic, but they are adjustable. They've got a aluminum ring on them, so it gives you a little bit more adjustability. There's a ton of adjustability for where the shocks actually mount to the shock towers, but as well as lots of adjustments here. You can see this little white pin where it's screwed in. Our turnbuckles up here for adjusting our toe in and toe out are adjustable there. And so these are solid plastic, but the adjustability is done by moving it on these pins or these plastic braces on the actual chassis here, or these parts that are attached to the chassis. And so you're not actually adjusting the turnbuckle itself. So these are plastic. I will probably look to upgrade these to get adjustable ones. It looks like it's the same thing with, so that's our camber. We also, the toe in and toe out would be adjusted using that as well, and adjusting it on the actual plastic harnesses here and not by using the turnbuckles. So that's something, again, like I said, I'm going to probably look into adjusting that. But there's a lot of adjustment that they have included in the stock setup here. Again, there's multiple settings here. All plastic there up front. In the rear, we do have steel drive shafts, very small ones. These are going to be run a lot different, though, than a lot of other cars. The goal isn't high speed. You might get some side impacts with walls and things like that from sliding into them. So we'll see what kind of damages we might sustain with these, as I have no clue. But again, you can just see the amount of adjustability that they've included. So that's really nice. The shock towers are really tall, give you lots of options, and then it doesn't look like they're adjustable up and down like a lot of them. So it looks like you'll be cutting off or letting it stick through really high. I think my plan is to actually cut them off and put on magnet posts. And so that's why I'm kind of glad that there's not body holes in the body already for it, so I can keep it clean and not have the post sticking out, but we'll see what we choose to do. On the flip side though, it can be a pain to trim your body or cut your body afterward, unless you have like the, I think it's Protoform, that makes those magnets that you put on here and then they snap to the top of the body so you can mark it. So you can do it that way if you want to be able to get it lined up perfectly for your holes after it's been painted. I've also been looking at some other bodies. I'm not really sold on this as the body that I want to have on here. In fact, I'm pretty sold on it not being the body that I run on this car. But I may just keep it as a beater body to run with it when I'm just kind of out and having fun with it. But there's another one that I have my eye on that's fully painted, ready to go. And so it's got lights and everything. And I might be ordering that up. We'll see. We'll see if this grows on me once it's actually down and over the wheels properly and driving. But not a huge fan of this look of this body. There's a lot of other ones that you can get with this ready to run. This just happened to be the only one that they had in the store. So I figured I was going to be changing the body anyway. But overall, it looks pretty good. This looks like it's just a plastic spur gear. Yep. All right, so I did take off one of the buckles up here, turnbuckles, just to see what adjustability there is, because it did look like there was a seam on there, which there does happen to be. Now, these are not easily adjustable while they're on, but it does look like you could maybe do a little bit of adjusting because it is threaded here. And so you can separate it a little bit, as you can see it right here. This is moving now. Again, it seems like it would be much more in your interest to upgrade those if you want that adjustability. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is, but I will be looking to be upgrading those. This is also a very different wrench than I've ever used before. It's kind of slick. And if you need more torque, you just run one of your hex wrenches through it to give you something to grip onto. Here's a little bit of a look at the caliper setup that they've got. That's part of the hex, so it'll actually spin with the wheel. So pretty slick looking. Overall, just moving around here on the bench, you can already feel how slick the tires are and how much fun that's going to be having that thing sliding around. So anyway, that's just a quick look. I wanted to give you guys a little look. There's not a whole lot of videos of these things being taken out of the boxes, so just give you a quick overview of the car. Again, it is running a Dean's plug. A couple things I haven't looked at. You know, it is a plastic chassis. Everything's countersunk. You're running hexes all around this thing, and so that's great. It's very lightweight. Again, it's got a enclosed gearbox back here. Should keep the dust out, all of that. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward looking. These do feel like they're may not be oil in these shocks. It's hard to tell. You know, I'm kind of curious. Let's just open one up. But what we'll do is we'll just take it off like so. And then just open it up and see. You can see that there's oil. I had my doubts. It's pretty light. So we're going to seal this back up and reassemble it. I want to make sure we share everything we can with you about these cars as you're looking to get into it. Here we've got the extra pieces that come with it to be able to mount the mirrors. I'm going to go ahead and try and get this assembled. And then this little cutoff piece that they've got is going to be what actually become your inserts for your mirrors that you'd either use, like the sticker that they use for a lot of modeling you could use to make this reflective. I'm just going to use chrome Lexan paint for mine and just call it a day because I noticed that I had some downstairs. when I was working on another truck. So that's going to be my solution, I think. I'm just going to pre-cut it, get it to fit beforehand so that I know that it's ready to go. That's pretty good. Fits in there. So we'll be able to spray that and stick it in, and then we'll get the other one cut. So then what we have to do is we're going to drill this out to be able to push this through like so. Not a perfect match, I wouldn't say, but it's close enough. It just looks lighter, more orange. All right, so I went ahead and just punched a little hole in here that this is gonna fit snugly into. I've already pushed this one through, and it was a very tight fit. It literally snapped into place, so I'm not going to pull it all the way out. I'm hoping this one is going to be the same way. Let me just tilt this up, you guys can't see. So it should snap in. It's a little bit smaller than it needed to be, and so I'm hoping I can just kind of, yeah, there, make it pop. Now it's nice and tight. Last thing I've got to do is go in and add these mirrors. So I used that chrome paint that I had mentioned, and it looks like it might have been dry and I might have just scraped some of it off. But you can see here how great it looks on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in while I can and go and add another coat of paint to the other. So I've got this gel control super glue by Loctite. I think this stuff works fantastic. And so I'm just going to run a bead of it kind of around the inside here and try not to get it on myself. I'm making a mess. I brought these needle nose up to help with this, and I did not use them for some reason. There we go. Not the cleanest job, but it gets the idea across. Now I'm guessing that these little rubber pieces are meant to go on the inside of these to really just kind of tighten down the mirror when you put the pin through it. Does not seem like that is going to be an option. So I think we're not going to use it. Kind of weird that they put the pin in a way that it actually shows in the mirror or in the window here. It would have been nice if they'd have done it so the pin went up and down when it was in, instead of side to side. While I'm here, I'm going to do one other thing, and that is I'm going to put down this little rubber pad that they want us to put down under the battery tray, just to help keep the battery in place. Just a little rubberized, and so you cut it in half and there's two little spots where it's marked that it'll go. There we go. When I drop it in here. Perfect. That'll, one, help the battery not move around so much in there, but also just give it a little cushion on the plastic chassis as well. Sweet. So those are the few little extra pieces. And then I also noticed while I was in here that I was saying how the shock posts don't move. That's because you cut them off, and then this does give you a little bit of adjustability here, I guess. And so you put this on your post. Now it'd still be nice if this was able to go up and down. But it doesn't. So you'll have to just cut it off and then put this on, which just makes the measuring part of it, I think, even a little bit trickier than maybe just cutting this off and just leaving this as your top piece. But this does give you a nice little spot for the car to sit on. I think the biggest problem for me is figuring out how to put the body on, if I'm going to do magnets or what I'm going to do, because they're not pre-drilled. And so now that it's painted, it gets a little bit harder to line up the body for cutting out your holes. unless you maybe put a really bright light under it, which is actually I'm seeing right now. This is the first time I'm seeing I can see through the paint, and I could actually mark this out and get it lined up and drill it out. So hit it with a marker in a few spots and we could be good to go. Interesting. Hold that thought. All right, guys, so I did go ahead and drill out the body. I'm not going to do this one magnets. I'm going to save the magnets for a different car that I have in mind, but I do want to use this one for now. And so what you have to do is there's little posts here in the front, or little dots where your posts will go. You can see the little recess mark, and there's 2 in the front. Then if you look very closely back in the sticker here, there's 2 in the back. And they line up perfectly with this body so that it can slide on real easy. Now, I did bigger holes because I don't want to use that adapter system that they have, because I'd have to cut off to do that. But you would want to drill smaller holes in your body if you're going to cut these off and use the adapters that they have. So anyway, I just want to show you that, where the mounting holes go, since it is pre-painted. What I'm going to go ahead and do is take these little extra pins that they gave me, and I'm going to put them in here where the body is going to sit. So I can put this on like so, how I want it, and then count down how many I want it to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say 6. I'll raise this up a little bit so that the tires can have room for suspension without hitting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is what I'll do. 7 down. So I'll just count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to try the one below it first. Let's see how that sits. So now this is a good way to crack your body if you're bashing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go one below it. And you'd want to put some kind of a protector over that or on the body to keep it from cracking as it is riding on there. I don't know about drift. Again, I haven't done it, so I don't know what kind of crashing I'm going to be doing. How does that look? Looks like the front end's too high. Sure does. All right, well, that's a quick look at the MST RMX 2.0, guys. I can't wait to get this out on the blacktop, doing a little bit of drifting for you guys, seeing how it handles and all of that. So a lot more videos to come. Hopefully I'll get it up on the track in Newport News soon. But I do have some work travel I know of coming up, so I don't know if I'll get to it before or after that. But anyway, it looks like a pretty sweet car, brushless. Yeah, ready to run out of the package. Other than figuring out the body at the beginning, which hopefully now if you guys watch this, you'll see there's already markings on the body, the front 2 on this one, and then the 2, if you look closely, there's 2 divots in the very bottom of the rear window. Be sure to check that out, because that's where you're going to want to drill your holes to get your posts through if you want to do that, or where you're going to want to put your magnets if you're doing magnet mounts. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in as always. Hopefully you liked the video if you made it this far. If so, be sure to leave us a thumbs up and let us know that you liked the video. I'm guessing that the people that are thumbing it down didn't make it this far. But if you want to see more content, we're going to be doing a lot more of the drifting stuff with this car for 2019. And so be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow along. And if you want immediate notifications of new videos, hit that little bell, and that'll let you know whenever we post new content, which we're going to try and keep up with the amount that we're doing, guys. We've hit over 500 videos that we've made now, and 18,000 subscribers at the time of this video being created. It's been an awesome journey, and I look forward to 2019 and doing a whole lot more with you guys. So be sure, if you want to leave me some tips in the comments below, please do. If you want to show your rides, pictures of them, stuff like that, you're going to have to send it over to Facebook, because YouTube doesn't quite allow posting pictures and that kind of a depth of a thread. So if you want to share photos and stuff of drifts or any, links, tips, stuff like that, leave them over on my Facebook page. That'd be awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, let's make this a great new year, guys. Have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.